Yeah. So for the laying down part of it, you want to lie on your back, and you want to lie in a way that's comfortable, meaning that you won't have to fidget, move yourself. So if you want to put something under your knees, that's fine. Whatever works for you. And we're going to start out standing and moving. And then where we would normally go into sitting, then we'll go into laying down. Um, because uh, it's one of the basic things about Qigong is that if you're doing sitting meditation, or in this case, lying down meditation, if we do movement first, it tends to settle us better, more quickly, more easily. Okay. So, any questions about that? Okay. Okay. All right. Very good. Well, we'll get started. And I had the I didn't put the recording on in time, so just for people who are watching this later on YouTube, we're going to be practicing after we do some standing and moving and so on. We're going to go into some lying down, prone qigong practices. So you want to have something to lie down on for 15 minutes or so. Okay, so let's get started. Now you can use this very familiar opening movement. Just drop into it, and it's just a good way to see um, how your body is. I mean, is your body, maybe your body's tired, or maybe it's really energized, or it's sore, or it's stressed, however it is, and then just do this Tai Chi twist movement, um, however it feels right. And then you can play around with it a little bit too. You can make it more vigorous, sink down more, let your arms go wider. But go ahead and play around with the movement, and don't feel like you have to do it at the same rate or intensity that I'm doing it, because um, that might not be the best thing for you. So this is designed to energize, and um, to make the body keep the body flexible. And when you're doing this, see if you can transfer all or almost all of your weight onto the one foot. And to check that, you can let the heel come up on the unweighted foot, but we want to sink and turn, twist and sink into the one weighted foot. And we're not propelling the arms at all. This is a movement of the hips and the waist and the thighs and so on. The arms are not, they're moving only because the torso's moving. Okay? So the arms are completely relaxed. And now if you want to lift the arms, that's fine. That's another level of it. You can do that. But still the main motion is driven by the lower body. Now, you can add a little bit of trembling mountain to this. So you can sort of put a bounce in between each one. It makes it a little more vigorous. And this will naturally get your heart beating, and your breathing will, your breath rate will go up. So we're energizing the body, and by doing that, the attention drops from the thinking into the body, into the moving. So you not only check out how your body is when you're starting, you check out how your mind is. And so if you're just doing this habitually and you're thinking about all these other things, then do it more intensely so that you have to pay attention to your body, and then your mind clears. That's the wonderful thing about moving, is it tends to clear the mind. I mean, everybody knows this. If you get upset or you're unhappy, and if you go out and walk or run or ride a bike or do something where you're moving, then your mood improves. So all of that is this beginning, and so I'm just encouraging you not to do this really familiar movement just habitually. You know, do it according to how you are in the moment. Okay, and then let's reduce. Okay, and now having done the movement, it intensifies the stillness. Now here, we can utilize the thinking mind, and we can sort of scan the body and get the posture that we want. And then with the breath, then we can extend the attention down that vertical axis with the out breath, and up that vertical axis with the in breath. So remember from last time, so this is body, breath, and mind in harmony. All three are engaged. And then what arises is what we call mindfulness. There's just this awareness of body, breath, and mind all at once. Kind of a bigger awareness. Okay, very good. Let's go ahead. You can break your stance if you want to. And we'll go ahead now and relate to the world. So we'll bow to the directions. And so we'll begin dipping the knees, come up. And we'll bow to the east, or to the first direction. And then turning to the right. Bowing to the south. And turning again. Bowing to the west. And turning again to the north. And back to the first direction. We're going to go up, so first we go down, send the hands up, extend, stretch a little, extend the mind. Good, and then come down. Okay, and then bend the knees, bend the waist, touch the floor. And then come back up. And just as the head begins to come up, hands come up, the lower dantian, the middle dantian. Okay, and then back to standing. Okay, very good. Well, let's go ahead and do 3 back washes and tree and spring pairs. So bringing the attention to the crown of the head and then dropping the chin slowly. We're bending over here. We can think of it as opening the spine. So opening the spaces between the vertebrae. And then when we're bent over, the spine is very open. And then we just let it be open, just hang there. Okay, and then as we come up, we bring the attention up the body, up the spine, and then just as the head begins to lift, the hands begin. Fingers point to the center line of the body, and then up. 1. In breath. 2. Point. In breath and breathe naturally. 3. Okay, and now repeat. Do 2 more back washes with 3 tree and springs with each one. Okay, and then whenever you finish, just go into Trembling Mountain. Just take your time, no hurry. We'll just be doing this practice. Okay, let's reduce the movement. And so my teachers say that this is what activates the chi. So you can feel this tingling kind of sensation in the body and heat. And these are signs of sort of increased chi flow. Okay. Okay, very good. Now let's go ahead and widen the stance, and let's do the breath practice. The small smile is considered an important Qigong movement. So you may just spontaneously smile a little bit, or if you think of it, just smile a little bit from time to time and see what just that little smile, see what effect that has. And we're smiling to the practice. We're smiling to the ancestors, your ancestors. We're smiling to all that is. Just a little smile of awareness. And you'll notice the smile itself has an effect on the mood. Okay, just a couple more. Okay, and now the hip flex. So just rocking the pelvis. If there's any pain, don't do this. If there's a teeny bit of pain or stiffness, that's okay. But this is just keeping the lower spine, the hips flexible. Okay, and then circling the hips. And the other direction. I started practicing Tai Chi in 1993, and in those days, I had a lot of pain in my lower back. And once I learned these hip flexing exercises and practiced Tai Chi and Qigong, I happy to say My personal experience has been that I haven't had those problems. So, um, but everyone's different, and our backs are different, and how we use our bodies is different. But that was my experience. Okay, good. And then let's go into our balance practice. And always the first thing is to be balanced on 2 feet, equally balanced on 2 feet. Okay, and then this is just like that first movement. So we're going to sink, bend the knee, bring all the weight into that foot, lift the other foot. And the visualization of that vertical axis, now it moves over the foot. So you want to not lift the weighted foot until you're, the unweighted foot until you're steady on the weighted one. So whatever you want to do with your arms and hands is fine. The main thing is this, you can just leave them down at your sides if you want, or out in the front. The main thing is developing that ability to stand securely on one foot. Some of these are just Tai Chi poses. Okay, very good. Very good. Okay, now let's go into something a little more vigorous. Let's go into cloud hands with the palms up and down. And so this is new to you. We're moving in the direction of the upper hand, just turning and then switching the hands and then turning that way. Switch, turn, switch. And then just make it into a dance. My teacher, Tricia Yu, says is you move as if you're in warm turquoise water. You just move like a water plant or a fish or something, just very easily, very gracefully. And it's fun, and then just enjoy it. And let's get the heart rate up a little bit. Let's do this with some energy. So this is a balancing yin and yang, balancing heaven and earth. One palm faces heaven, the other palm faces earth, and then they switch. So it's all about, it's a continuation of the balance that we just did, actually. Of course, all Qigong is about balance. So, okay, very good. And then when you're ready, just switch so that palms are facing each other. Now, same movement, but the palms are facing. So this is balancing the Qi internally between the left and right hands. And one hand is at the lower dantian, the other is at the middle dantian. That is, one is at the abdomen, the other is at the heart. And so we're kind of mixing that. And then, so let's make it bigger. And so So now we're just describing the space around the body. Okay, very good. Okay, and let's reduce the movements. And then just notice sensations in the body. Okay, and let's go into diagonal flying now. Now, this time the lower hand goes up and the upper hand goes back. And then we end up in this kind of extended diagonal position. And then we come back and switch the hands. And now the lower hand you send out, the upper hand back, and then come back, switch, wind up, send it out, wind up. We're sending it out with the hips. We're turning the hips and sending both of those out. So in Tai Chi, this is a strike and a block. So it's done with energy, determination. It's done with power. We're expressing power through that. And the power comes from the earth, comes right up through the body, and is powered by the thighs and directed by the hips and expressed in the hand. So it's not so much an arm movement as it is a turning of the body and bending the knees and rising up. Now the breath, you want to do an exhale as you send out that hand, those hands. So that's an exhale. Inhale. The inhale gathers the power. The exhale expresses it. And you're pushing off with your feet, pushing off of that weighted foot. So the whole body is generating power in that diagonal direction, both up and back. So Tai Chi is the Qigong for self-defense. Tai Chi is a form of Qigong. And so we can do this as Qigong and just express that energy through the hands. Okay. Let's do one more on each side. Good. And come back. Okay, and let's then let the hands come down, and we'll go into turning the body to look at the moon. So the palms are facing to begin. Okay, and then we're going to swing the hips this way and flip the hand. So one palm is up, one palm is down. Yeah, that's it. And just turn and flip the hands. Very easy. Okay. And now as we sink down more and turn the hips a little more, twisting the body, then the arms are going to rise higher. And we're actually going to turn. So this is turning the body to look at the moon. Okay, and the hands are forming the full moon at the top of the swing. So the hands are embracing the full moon, turning the body to look at the moon. Again, the arms are propelled by the legs, and they're directed by the hips. Okay, and slowly reduce the movement. Okay, so I trust that got your blood moving a little bit. So now let's go ahead and make yourself comfortable and lay down on your place, in your place. And for this first, you want to lie on your back. Actually, okay, that's better. Okay, very good. So I don't know where your hands are, but let's start. We're going to place one hand, either hand, on your sternum, and the other one on below your navel. And this is the posture, or the hand position, that's taught for lying down Qigong, particularly for going to sleep. This is a good habit to get into when you lie in your bed to go to sleep, is to assume this position. And the more often you do it, the stronger it gets. So with the upper hand, we're embracing all of our connections to people, to places, to animals. Everything in the world that we're connected to is the heart. And then the lower hand, we're connected to the womb in the body, or the navel, connected back through time to our ancestors. And we're hugging the body. So this is very comforting. The message we're giving to the body is, I love you. I'm holding you. And then the body is giving back to the mind. The body's giving this message of, we're here, right now. So even a year from now, if you just remember this position, that's a lot. And then, of course, you can feel in this position, you can feel your breathing, and you can feel your heart. So you're very in touch with the rhythms, with the movement in this still body. Now, some laying down Qigong, they have you cross your ankles, and I think that's optional. Um, what that is you're balancing yin and yang, left and right, and so that's really useful. Sometimes you can feel it. I think it's not always necessary, but you can try it if you want to. And so the body the attention naturally just moves into the body. Okay, and now to utilize the mind. So we got body and breath. We utilize the mind um, by extending the felt sense. So this is a very good position for practices like breathing the stars. So we're going to mix the mind with the breath. So with the in-breath, we're imagining the feeling of breathing in through the pores of the skin from all directions. If you want to visualize that as breathing in light, for some people that's helpful. Just breathe in and breathe out. And we're using the mind to extend the feeling. So when we breathe out, we're extending the attention out beyond the body. When we breathe in, we're focusing the attention on the internal organs. We're feeling them. So internal is in breath, external, exhale. And if you lie in bed at 3 in the morning and you don't go to sleep, this practice is so beneficial that people who've studied this have concluded that it's actually better than sleep. More refreshing, that is. Okay. Now, one thing about lying down, so people say, well, what about the vertical axis? Well, the vertical axis is still in the body. It goes right through the body. So if you need to, you can envision that sort of as coming up from the earth and then entering the feet, going horizontal, and exiting the head and then going up, sort of making this jog. It's a little complicated. You can also visualize the vertical orientation as this cylinder. This kind of cylinder of light that the body is in. And the cylinder goes from the center of the earth all the way up into the stars. And so no matter what position the body's in, it's included in the cylinder of light. And light is an image of consciousness. So that can be standing, sitting, lying down, doesn't matter. So the dantians are still aligned. The abdomen, the heart, the head. No matter what position you're in. Now, this is where, too, we tend to focus on the front of our body. But lying down, you can also focus on the back. So let's say the heart, the middle dantian, you can imagine that a line going through that from the center of the earth through the heart up into the universe. Same thing with the belly, same thing with the brain. And so it's still all connected to the earth, the material world, and into boundlessness, consciousness. And this activates the back of the body as well as the front. Okay. Now, in this position, you can activate a lot of the same experience of movement without moving. So let's just imagine, and using the breath. So imagine doing cloud hands as you're lying here. So remember it. There's muscle memory. You're doing it with the breath. What did it feel like? You can use the eyes if you want. You can make it big. Any movement that you want to imagine, the body will receive that and create the impressions of it. Any movement. So turning the body to look at the moon, just remember that. You can use your eyes if you want, use your breath. And this is activating through the mind. It's activating the sensors of the body. It's very much as if you're doing the movement. I mean, you can activate a sense of flying, being a bird. And any activation of the body will engage this feedback loop with the mind. You can imagine lifting your arms. Imagine flying. And use the breath. This is called moving in stillness. This is used if you're injured or sick. If you're dying, you use these Qigong movements. They're moving in stillness. And it has the same positive effect on the energy in the body and on the mood. Okay. All right. Let's take a few more breaths. Okay, and then when you're ready, go ahead and return to sitting so we can do our closing movement, or standing, either way. If you want to get up, you can just stay down if you want. If you just want to stay down, that's fine. Or if you've fallen asleep, that's fine too. But I'm sitting, so I'm going to go ahead and do the closing movement. I haven't done it lying down. I suppose you can. So on the count of 3, we'll clap our hands. 1, 2, 3. Make heat, and then do whatever facial massage you want to do. Oh, we didn't get to the Buddhist meditation because we ran out of time. We'll do that next time. Okay, and tapping the kidneys. And massaging the kidneys. So I have a Zoom meeting I have to get to pretty soon, but I could stay for a few minutes if you have questions or comments about those practices. So thank you so much for your presence, and I'll either see you next week, or if you want to stay for like 5 minutes, that's okay.
I'll ask my questions next week. Thanks so much. Have a good week.
Thank you, Stephen. Bye, everybody.
Bye, thank you.
I'll save my comments for next week. Thanks so much.
Okay, all right.